AWS has announced IDE Workspace Context Awareness in Amazon Q Developer Chat. Prior to the launch of this feature, we could only ask Amazon Q question on the opened file or by selecting code lines. But now Amazon Q will include your entire workspace as context while answering your question. This will surely boost our productivity. Let's quickly check how to configure and use this powerful feature. Workspace Context Awareness feature has been added in 1.13.0 version. So make sure your Amazon Q plugin version is latest or at least more than 1.13.0. If you are trying for the first time, click Amazon Q, then select Use for Free, click Continue, configure trusted domains, select the domain, it will launch the browser, log in with your Skill Builder account and click Allow Access, request approved, add @workspace with your chat to include entire workspace as context, @workspace, enter. To add your workspace as context, you need to enable these settings. Click Open Settings. Amazon Q will index your open workspace files locally. Extra CPU usage is expected while indexing a workspace. Select the checkbox, close the settings. For the purpose of the demo, I have randomly downloaded one sample AWS project from GitHub. This is Java project with so many actions and packages and folders. I am not aware of this project. So naturally, my first question will be, what does this workspace code base do? So it is generating answer, and it says the codebase is a sample application called Secure Pet Store built in Java for AWS Lambda, and it uses API gateway to expose Lambda function as HTTP endpoints. It is also using a Cognito and IAM to authenticate users and authorize access to APIs. Key components of these applications are Amazon Cognito Identity Pool, DynamoDB tables, Lambda function, API gateway. Let's ask the next question. How does this workspace implement the login process? Generating detailed answer. Scroll up and let's see what it says. Based on the code files provided, it has found following implementation. Client application initiates login process by calling API gateway endpoint with username and password. Integrated AWS Lambda function is invoked. Amazon Cognito Identity Pool is used to authenticate users' credential. For successful authentication, Cognito generates unique identity ID and JWT token. Lambda function retrieves temporary AWS credentials using credential provider implementation. The user class represents object model, which is annotated with DynamoDB annotations. User credentials class encapsulates the temporary AWS credentials obtained from credential provider. Finally, Lambda function populates logged in user response object with identity ID token credentials that will be used in subsequent API calls. Another cool feature is Amazon Q not only answer your questions, it will also suggest follow-up questions which are very relevant. Let's quickly verify the generated answer by going through the code. So in the action, you can see login demo action, getting user DAO from DAO factory, logged in user, DAO.get username. So let's go to model, DAO factory, and here you can see reference of DynamoDB. Here it is making call to Cognito and it is retrieving the credentials, and login user response is populated with identity ID token and temporary credentials. So generated response seems pretty accurate, and we can utilize this powerful feature to expedite our development activity. That's it for today's update. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Until then, happily float on the cloud.